The Celtics deal the first pick in the draft to Philly.
The Boston Celtics select Jason Tatum.
Celts and Cavs, that trade finalized.
Kyrie Irving to the Boston Celtics.
All-star Gordon Hayward going from Utah to Boston.
So what's the offseason been like?
The offseason's been very busy. From a work standpoint, there's been non-stop action, in the Celtics office since preparing for the draft, and a busy time always, and free agency, which is always busy, but just a lot of action.
Kyrie Irving through the D, lays it up and in.
How much confidence do you have that Kyrie can be the number one guy and the leader of this franchise?
Kyrie is a very gifted player, but he certainly can't win a championship by himself. The bottom line is they all need each other. And when you have players that are great like Gordon and great like Kyrie, then what that does is that just allows the rest of the players to be able to play within themselves and not have to try to do too much, because those guys will carry the burden, carry a heavier load in creating opportunities against good defense. So that's the great thing about having great players. But having multiple great players, it takes the burden off of one.
It's our job to bring the best out of one another every single day. And I think that's been echoed throughout this whole entire organization, as well as the players and the tradition that's here in Boston. And I knew that I was going to come in contact with some other great individuals, and we were going to go after something special.
Why do Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward fit into the culture in Boston?
Well, first of all, I think it's pretty simple that they're just great players. They would fit into a culture anywhere. It's not just Boston. They could play with any lineup, any position. They could play on the ball, off the ball. They're just smart, all-around basketball players. But I think those guys fit into any culture.
What a dismantling here in Boston.
The fans applauding their Boston Celtics. We do see a lot of upside for this Boston team.
A lot of young talent. They've got a great young coach, and they've got money to spend.
Only 4 players back from last year's team. How patient do you think Boston fans have to be, especially early with this group?
We know championships aren't won in November. At the same time, effort and teamwork and all those things are huge in the eyes of the Boston fans. So I think it's unrealistic to think that we won't have struggles somewhere along the road, and there'll be ups and downs through the course of the season. But I think it's going to be a very exciting year.
Everybody wants to know, how much closer do you think you got to being able to compete with Golden State and even Cleveland for the East?
Yeah, I think those guys are great. It's a challenge, no doubt about it. But like I've said from the beginning, that doesn't mean that we're just going to fold. We have a pretty good hand, and we're going to keep playing it and see where it takes us.